coming in anyways. We're coming in hot. Let's do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're live. Jeez. Hi, everybody, and welcome into tonight's episode of The Growing of the Dim, Series 3, Episode 4, Saturday Shows and Sunday Sermons. With me is a fantastic cast of amazing people, and we're going to get them to do their quick introductions, who they are, who they're playing, and we'll go from there. Let's start with Chris. I think we actually do need to see a priest. Up next, we've got Becca. Uh, Next up, we have Brandy or B. Okay. Next up we've got Max. Sorry, there's things that are happening behind the scenes, y'all, and we're all in a place right now. They can only hear me? One sec, y'all. Let me switch it over. Why are you not doing the thing? Thank you, Waffle. One second. Why is this not working? Here, let me just do a real quick boop. And a new one. Sorry, we're doing it live, everybody. Why? There we go. And you should be hot now. Say some words. There you are.
Hello.
Words.
So let's speed run this. Max, who are you?
Hi. I'm Max. I use he, they pronouns. I play Jesper Rivera. He is a trans cowboy and a little bit of a weirdo, also uses he, they pronouns.
And we'll do in reverse order so that way the intros don't get missed. B.
Hey, I'm Brandy. I use she, they pronouns. I'm playing Miss Ivy Bradford, who uses she, her pronouns, a singer who's just here in Palomino for stuff.
No reason.
Yeah,
Becca.
no reason.
Hi, I'm Becca. I'm currently experimenting with any pronouns, and I'm playing Genevieve Roy, who uses she, her pronouns, and she, like me, is a Nepo baby, but not a monster fucker.
Yeah.
Just outright with it.
Just give it time.
I like how you had time to go back on it, but you doubled down.
You doubled down.
Wild. And I'm Chris. I'm playing Virgil. Both of our pronouns are he, him, and I will remind everyone we are about to go see a priest.
And I'm probably going to be playing that priest. Hi, I'm Anita. I'm your GM for this evening. And my pronouns are she, they, and the priest's pronouns, I believe, are he, him. Jesus Christ almighty.
Nope.
What the fuck have I gotten into tonight? This is The Growing of the Dim. This is a horror anthology series that I have developed with these wonderful people. We're playing a little bit of Eldritch West using the Abyss system tonight. And to sort of recap, for those of you who might be stopping in for the first time this evening, we are set in the sleepy one-horse town of Palomino in Cimarron County, which is in the Oklahoma Panhandle. It is a bit of a lawless territory in Earth's past, in American past, and our wayward adventurers have made their way here for one reason or another. Some of them have lived here all their lives, and others are potentially just passing through. But upon arriving in town, Virgil and Ivy were tasked by the sheriff to see to a little bit of a mystery that was happening in the salt mine that was previously owned by Genevieve's parents. The crew, apparently some people had made their way in there and were taking up residence. The job was to clear them out. Fairly simple. Jasper obviously was also wrangled into this as he's a little bit works for the stables and makes sure that all horses are taken care of. So the group went, found a body and a door that didn't make sense. There was a knocking at the door, and then some howls from deeper within the caverns. They were set upon by some strange creatures, unclear as to their origin, but discovered that they were weak to light. Got rid of them. The door disappeared, the body remained, and all the daggers, all 7 of them that were in the back of this body, were gone. It was recognized that this was a member of the Cast Iron Gang, which was a group of ne'er-do-wells that had taken up shop in the town after a tragedy a few years back. They were run out of town by the sheriff, but it seems that they've made their return. Upon returning to town, they interrogated Sheriff Gloria, and Gloria sort of laid out all her cards, which was she had made a deal. Unclear with what, and unsure as to what the cost would be. However, the crew found out a little bit more. The gun used, or the bullets therein, were enchanted, and seemingly the members of the Cast Iron Gang are now under the thrall of whatever Gloria had made the deal with. Splitting their forces up, half of them went to go see the Meat Man, or Alistair, who is a little bit of a eccentric and has a few bits and bobs, not necessarily magical items, but he was also in possession of the remaining bullet that took out the leader of the Cast Iron Gang. The rest of you went to go see, the doctor, Doc Hutchins, and the body and examine it therein. His heart, finding out that his heart was missing. Now, as to what exactly all this means, they decided that they would go stake out the graveyard tonight, I believe. But I think we're pretty much caught up. It is Saturday. It is in the afternoon. It is approaching evening. And you all are sort of, I think you've all split up at this point, and you've all in your various domiciles, hotel rooms, getting ready for tonight's events. So yeah, it is just a mild heart removal. Sometimes you can live with it, most times you can't. All right. What is everybody doing? Let's start with Ivy.
There was a thing at the end of last game too, where Virgil's little summoned friend went to the graveyard.
Yeah,
and had a little
that
trouble.
was later in the evening. We're time rolling back just
before
a little
that.
bit.
Okay, just
Before that.
I was like, "Ooh." Okay. I think that was nerve-wracking. All right. So Ivy, she's gone back into the Six Dice Saloon, and she was going to grab probably a whiskey on her way up to her room, where she was going to first grab a dress for Miss Genevieve that she had been eyeballing. And she'll bring that back down and ask, oh, what's her name? No,
Cynthia.
Cynthia? Yeah,
Cindy.
to have it delivered to Mrs. Roy
Okay.
for her. And then she'll head up and get dressed for the night, for the performance.
Sounds good. Virgil, what are you up to?
I think Virgil's pretty much just after he does a thing in his room where he conscripts his little friend to go off and do a little journey for him. I think he just examines his state in the mirror if there is one.
Yeah, there's a
Uh,
sort of a tall mirror. It's a little bit dirty.
okay. Well, yeah, I'll probably just spend a little while looking in it and uh, checking over myself, making sure that nothing is too tattered. And if I need a change of any kind, then I will spend this time doing that.
The your corporeal form is holding together quite okay. Some portions of the tips of your fingers are a little bit singed, but you can put a glove over it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too. And some of it seems to be stitching together like just a little bit. You mend slowly, but you do mend.
Yeah.
Unless like things get a little bit out of hand for you. Um, your appearance looks fine. Um,
Okay. So in that case, then yeah, once I'll just dust off my clothes and head downstairs and wait for everyone. Then maybe just keep an eye out on the people who come by because I'm not sure if word has gotten around town that Ivy is singing.
okay, are you gonna maybe spread the word?
Yeah, I could do that a little bit. Maybe should I make a heart roll for that?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's see how
Okay.
many residents you can attract. Appeal. Actually, I would say,
Yeah,
yeah,
appeal is a heart
I'd
roll.
say appeal. Roll with
Okay.
heart.
Uh, so I got 10 on the die with +3, so 13.
Oh, that's a strong. You can ask 3 questions on the list if you like. If you also want to
Um,
use this as an opportunity to sort of case town and see who's here and what they're up to. Hey,
yeah,
Watson.
I think that'll be actually a very good idea for me. Um, let's see, 13 at the strong result. I think I will be. Let me ask some questions.
Sure.
So, as I'm talking about the performance upcoming, is there anyone that does not seem to be excited or
Uh,
seems to be like, I'm not going to do this?
so you're just sort of wandering around casing people that live in the town.
Mhm.
Most people, upon hearing that there's some new entertainment at the Six Dice, are very excited and very more than happy to come by. Like from people you're talking to, they might say like, uh, I mean, the pastor probably won't make it. Father Mouton probably won't make it because, you know, he usually steers clear of the Sixth Eye, uh, and he's also got to get up early for church tomorrow. I think and like you'll start hearing like a couple like seeded rumors like there's a burial going on at Boot Hill after a sermon.
Okay. Um, let's see. And I kind of want to get uh what is let's see. I think the idea is what is the general demeanor of the people around? Do they just seem calm or do they have a something's wrong with them that we aren't noticing?
Um, ooh, I would say yeah, that is definitely something that you would get from such a good heart roll. Um, People look like there's almost a haggard look to some
Mhm.
people around town. And AJ, thank you very much for that lore drop.
Ooh.
There's a little bit of a. It looks like people aren't sleeping well.
Okay.
And as
Looks
you
like.
sort of walk throughout town, you can hear people talk in like hushed tones because you're an outsider.
Hmm.
You're not someone that's really known to them, but you can hear them sort of talking in hushed tones about dark dreams and restless nights, sounds
Okay.
in the hills that shouldn't be there,
Okay. Sounds
lights,
in the hills that shouldn't be there. Lights.
shadows on
Hmm.
the clock tower.
Okay. And I think my last question is uh does anyone know anything about the lights? Like anything more? Would they be willing to talk to me after the performance?
Um, you sort of come across Clive,
Hmm.
and Clive's like, "Oh, I mean, if you want to know about the lights, I got the best place to have a look at them from. If you wanna, if you wanna get a good view of them."
I would like that. After the show, if you wouldn't mind taking me.
Hell yeah,
Or us rather.
absolutely. I can take you around, show you all the good viewing spots.
I appreciate it.
Watson, you are not going to eat the pizza that's on my desk. That's what he's going for every time
But
he
have
goes
you
out.
considered?
Are you trying to convince him or you?
Yeah.
Mm,
Imagine how cute it would
Both.
be to see him drag that pizza like off your desk.
Everybody, this is Watson. He's a precious
Oh.
baby. But yeah, he's willing. He's more than willing to take you around and show you the
Okay.
sights.
All right, cool. I think those are my only questions, and luckily I'll take +1 to act on whatever we see up there.
Absolutely, you can. So, the but yeah, you hear the sort of whisperings around town. Most people are very excited to see a new performer at the Six Dice, though. There is no command for Watson yet.
Need an
I
emote
should
too.
probably make a Watson emote and a Watson command. Watson count. Um,
Hmm.
all right. And from there, as the camera sort of shifts, uh, let's ask, Jasper.
Hi. Hello.
What are you doing? What are you up to?
I think what I really wanted to have Jasper do is a thing for after the show.
Okay.
So for right now, I would say they probably are just changing into clothes that are like a little bit more respectful of the fact that a show is being put on, uh, and kind of gathering the previous information he has from both like the mission that or whatever we want to call it that they had gone on and about the nightmare.
Okay.
I know that's not that exciting of an answer.
No, that's
but
perfectly fine.
that's really all it is right now.
Yeah, there's a couple people around town that have also maybe laid eyes on it and like sort of know like roots of where it goes. And like you've sort of assembled this little almost like a little pin board
Of course he has. Yeah.
if you like.
Oh, definitely.
And yeah, you have a good feeling that this is going to be one of the nights that you might be able to spot it.
Okay, very good.
All right.
That's all I need right now. Yeah.
Awesome. The camera shifts to the house of Genevieve Roy.
Hello.
You're currently digging through your
My closet,
your
yes.
closet, trying to find and tucked
And
in. No, go ahead.
mhm. Just an ounce of color.
An ounce of
Anything that's
color.
not black.
Tucked in the back
Mhm.
of one of your closets, you pull out a very it's a white box, plain paper. It's actually kind of nice. Um,
Mm.
it's tied up with a dark green ribbon.
Have I seen this box before?
You have not.
Yeah, I'll open it. What's the worst that'll happen? I'll take it like out of the closet and kind of like set it on like whatever kind of like console table I have.
Okay. You set it up down, pull the ribbon off, open the box, and inside is a very beautiful hunter green riding dress. And on top there is a card.
Well, pick up the card.
For when you're ready, E.
I just she just is gonna like hold it and just stare at it.
Kept
How did
telling
how did you even get this?
I mean, I just hired someone to buy it for you.
You talked to someone.
I was getting worse. I was getting sick. I knew that I probably didn't have much longer after I saw what happened to your parents, and
Oh,
I got one of the. I got. Do you like it?
I'll take it out and I'll like fully kind of look at it and like feel the material and it goes, yes.
Listen, I knew I didn't have much time left,
Hmm.
so
Um,
and listen, I knew what we had wasn't really, you know, that whole true love thing that they talk about in the storybooks. It was marriage of convenience.
yeah, that's, I mean, pretty much it. Yeah.
Doesn't mean I didn't care about you, though. It doesn't mean that I didn't want you to be okay eventually. And I
I
kept
know.
telling you, I've been trying to tell you this last little bit that maybe you should try and find a little bit more color. That's my not so subtle way of trying to point you towards the fucking closet.
Um, all right, you don't have to like use harsh language or anything about it. Thank you very much. This is very,
Sorry.
all like,
There's only so many hints that I could give until you actually got it done.
yeah,
Didn't mean to lose my temper.
it's all right. You're quite fine. Thank you. Thank you, Emma.
So, get out there. Broaden your horizons. I mean, like I said, this wasn't a true love thing. This was
No, I know, I know.
this was
I'm just like,
our-
I'm just wondering like what you're like hinting at. If you're hinting at anything.
if-
Not that there's anything to hint at,
if
but I'm just wondering if there's something you're hinting at.
I mean, I'm not really hinting at much of anything. I'm just trying to tell you that I'm here because of you.
All right, make me feel bad about it.
No, that's not. It's not. I didn't mean to make you feel bad about that.
No, that
I-
was I'm being you've done something very kind for me and I'm getting the emotional in the way I do, which is I'm going to be rude.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Well, I just thought that
It's very kind and if I'm not mean, I will start to cry. So that's what's
okay. Well, then keep being mean because I don't think I can cry.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know what this
I-
whole kind of
I don't know.
thank you, Emmett.
No problem.
Can I like attempt to like put like a hand on like the shoulder of this this shadowy ghost figure if he's even like corporealizing
You can sort
or
of
something.
like you sort of stroke the outline It kind of
Ew.
passes through a little bit. There's that sort of feeling like pins and needles in your hand, just a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah.
And he says, the only reason I stuck around was to make sure that you'd be okay.
Mm.
It wasn't, you know,
I
like,
know.
but then it was actually really easy to stick around, and I don't quite get that. People flock to you, Jenny.
Oh, I don't get it. I truly do not.
And, maybe, maybe once you move on, I can move on.
Um, I think like a tear starts to like well up in the corner of her eye, and she just kind of
I mean, I won't be
that
far.
I mean, yeah, you better not be. Who else am I gonna like have a little like banter with?
I mean,
I guess I could find someone that I could develop a good banter, but I like our banter.
yeah, I think I'd miss that too. I mean, you could always just holler out to nothing. I mean, that's what everybody else sees.
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware of what they all kind of think about that, but I don't know if it's helped or hindered at this point. Um,
He clears his throat, which is kind of weird. Like almost
yeah,
like he is like you can't see any tears, but you can sort of hear that catch in
mhm.
the voice. Well, uh, it'll probably just take the damn dress.
I'm taking the damn dress. I'm gonna change into it, and I'm gonna try not to have to redo everything that I just did. But someone's making it a little difficult. It's
Well,
not.
I'll get out of your hair. There's also a knock at your door at this point, too.
Oh, good God. I'll like I'll go to the door.
Um, the standing at the door uh is dang it, why do I keep forgetting?
Cynthia.
Cynthia is
I do
standing
it
at the
too.
door. Is looking like just like kind of flustered, a little bit red. It has red in the face and has is holding out a dress to you.
Did you run here?
Miss Ivy told me to bring this to you right away.
Yeah, thank you very kindly. You don't have to run.
I mean, I also kind of tripped, so it might be a little
Oh,
dirty.
that's quite all right. Thank you, very much. And I'll send my thanks to Ivy myself. You don't have to run another errand back. Are you, should I tip you?
No, you don't. Just
Great.
okay. I'm just
Yeah.
awkwardly like backs away, and then you see her run, and then you hear a crash, and then ah, I'm okay.
All right. I'm very glad to hear that. I close my door. Um, I think I'm gonna wear the green dress.
All right.
Sorry,
Purple
Ivy.
one's now dirty.
Yeah, it's dirty, so yeah.
It's
But
it's
yeah,
like it's just got like a little bit of sawdust on it. You can like dust it off, but other than
no,
that, like
yeah. I'll wear the
wear
green
the green
one.
dress. All right.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll the clock will move forward a little bit towards this evening at the Six Dice Saloon. Um, all right. Who gets there in what order? I think Virgil and Ivy goes without saying you're already there.
So it's between me and Jasper.
Yep.
didn't have like an ordeal with my dead loved one, so I would venture to say that I probably make it there first, just by by logic.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No,
So
I'll
yeah,
show up at a reasonable time.
Genevieve, when you enter the Six Dice, there's a couple heads that turn. It's not very often you're seen out of your home, and out of your
not
home and in color.
I kind of awkwardly like curtsy or something.
Just stay. It'll be okay. Just walk like normal. Don't.
Yep. I walk like normal to wherever I see our table is set up.
Jasper is looking and hiding it very poorly, and then coughs like a little bit too loud into his whiskey when you come toward the table.
And like splashes up in your face.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Virgil would pat you on the back for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
His presence.
A cat. Good evening. It's been a long time since I Hi.
Good evening.
Evening.
What are y'all wearing to tonight's performance? I mean, we know what Genevieve's donning this evening.
Virgil might have changed his shirt, and I think he's wearing about similarly the same thing, like definitely some black slacks, not quite a suit jacket, but definitely a black coat of some kind, and a white button-up shirt, probably with an ascot. Yeah, I'll just say it. He has an ascot.
Okay.
And that is purple.
Purple ascot. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper, are you just dressed a little bit
I think he has kind of one of those shirts, like the Chado shirts that have like the embroidery on the front, and he's in his slightly less tattered hat and boots.
nice? And there's accompaniment on piano. Is that correct?
If they were able to, if
Yep.
not, Miss Ivy can accompany herself.
There is a piano player in town that has sat down and is just sort of playing the piano softly while people sort of filter in before Miss Ivy starts her performance. All right, but once everybody sort of filters in, there's not really a dimming lights. It's just the same sort of ambient lantern glow in the Six Dice as the sun begins to sort of get dipped down. You can see the sun set sort of filter in. The what light that comes in from outside is this beautiful warm orange and red glow that sort of filters in, and everybody's voice begins to sort of hush a little bit, and Ivy, you appear on the top of the stairs, and is that what you'd like to do, to appear on the top of the stairs and sort of work your way down? Like
that's pretty standard.
The whole
she walks down, and it doesn't say a word, does that very classic chanteuse thing and just kind of comes down. She's wearing a very very modern dress. It's it's like a dark maroon color. It has a bone corset tied in the back, some ruffles. It also has on the top, it has a lot of like an ivory cream color ruffling about it, and Virgil knows kind of how he's seen this outfit before. He knows that there's like a tie at the back that kind of looks like a bow. And she just kind of walks down. She's wearing some heeled black boots that have like some dark colored rhinestones or like stones around the bottoms, and her hair's up, and she has a really ornate hairpin in. And she's carrying a fan, and she kind of comes down, and she also has a little wrist pouch that's kind of hung off of her belt, or just like a pouch. And she walks down, and she starts she kind of nods at the piano player, and he kind of goes into a little bit of a ragtime tune. And she starts a song that kind of to warm the crowd up, that's about being out on the prairie and having to avoid the drips of the sod houses.
Okay. I'm gonna say we're gonna roll your performance into sort of one overarching clout check for
Got it.
compel, because it feels like you're trying to impress characters. So I will say roll 2d6 plus clout for compel.
Oh.
Is there any way that I could assist in this by being an enthusiastic audience member?
Absolutely.
I will
Yeah,
say
can
I
we-
still have a +2 from last time's game that was given to me by my dear friend Virgil. So I will be
Absolutely.
adding that as well. I did write that down.
Go for it.
But please, by all means,
I'm
if
gonna
you
be
wanna help.
enthusiastic anyway.
Yeah, we're
So-
all
I
gonna be
almost kind of want to
enthusiastic.
close my eyes for this, because it's no shit. It's only a 5 because I rolled. Oh no, I rolled a 3, but that's +4 is 7, so I have a 9.
Okay. I will say that if you like,
I can burn
um,
some fancy.
if you like, you can also
There's like the backstory thing,
you
right?
can foil if you like to re-roll your last roll with an additional d6.
Actually, I do. So, I have been thinking about this. So Ivy's, her foil is altruism, and the altruism is, it can be a couple of different things. You can have genuine selflessness, but I think it's different than that. I think Ivy has weighing on her, excuse me, like the weight of what is kind of going on, and how important it is that tonight she really, 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 really hooks the crowd at the very beginning, which is why she kind of made this. It's not her normal thing doing the play about, kind of the being in the outlaw territory and, being in the, this kind of country thing. Normally her play is to start kind of classical and kind of wow them later. So she is just like, I gotta just push through this, and she remembers a time when she didn't, in her past, where she actually got kind of wrapped up in more personal things with there was a time when they were in New York, and there was a gentleman who she had been watching that had been treating someone very poorly, one of his employees. Virgil actually turned her on to it, and she's very kind of ashamed of this. And the employee was a young Black man, and Ivy had gone in with the intention of securing the complete repayment of the boy, and the relieving of all the debt that he had found himself indentured to, whether or not by his own choice. But Ivy kind of liked the boss a little too much on accident, and it all went astray, and Virgil had to fucking fix it. And so she is like, not again, this is not happening here, and she's going to push through. She has a responsibility to what she's doing. And so I will roll with another die.
And add an extra die on top of that, because there is some enthusiastic crowd members here helping you out with this. You got a little bit of a
Okay.
hype squad on your back.
So I'm gonna reroll.
So you also sort of channel in that sort of core memory where like your friend had to help you out. And I think you realize that the crux of what you do is people help people. And you've got people in the crowd right now that are here helping you out.
Okay. This is a fun roll. So I had 4 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Over our break, we did our leveling for getting XP, and I chose control. And what control does is after spending a foil point, which you only have one, if the reroll scores doubles, which I did, I get my failed point back. If it didn't score doubles, then I would have actually gotten 3 rally points, which are something I can give to friends, but that's okay. I still get my foil back. So that's 10 plus 4 is 15, plus the 2 is 17. So it like bolstered by kind of that memory of really messing it up and seeing like these friends. That's kind of strange, but okay. I got friends again in a town, and you're pulling for me, and she just kind of, I don't know, finds something inside of her.
What was the final roll?
17.
Woo! That's the stuff. Okay. That is a grand success. All right. Everybody in this, in the six dice is enamored with you, Ivy. Um, and like as you sort of you go through your entire set, and they at the end there's a sort of loud raucous applause and like people are singing along, stomping, like there's people that are like keeping percussion with the timing of the piano, a couple people get up and dance, and this is one of the finest nights that the six dice had seen in quite a while. And Virgil, that sort of sunken feeling that you got when you were speaking to the townsfolk,
Mm-hmm.
it lifts a little bit through Miss Ivy's
Good.
performance.
Good. Yeah. Virgil, I think, is definitely just he's in if anything, he's like sitting down at one of the tables, but still kind of in bouncer mode. Like, definitely, like if somebody starts some stuff, I will hit them. But it seems like everything is going well, so I'm kind of just sitting there with, like a shot of whiskey and just leaning back in my chair and, you know, smiling at everybody enjoying themselves and at the weight that seems to be lifted a little bit off of everybody's shoulders, including Genevieve, who's come in different color clothing.
um, yeah, it's and this is like, and I think the people that are local to town, specifically Genevieve and Jasper, you notice that the spirits in town are like of the townsfolk are very high. Like
Hmm.
they're in a very good mood. Better than you've seen in a while.
Hmm.
And
Like how long of a while?
it's, it's been a couple years since you've
Hmm.
seen people this happy.
Okay.
And hey, do you see that?
Hmm.
And your eyes are sort of drawn to the corners of the room because it's starting to get dark in here, and usually the
Mhm.
shadows get a little bit longer than they should be. You see the shadows almost retreat as Ivy sings.
Hmm. Do we all clock that?
Jasper, you also notice that it you feel like there's always you're also always in tune with like the energies that are drawn towards you.
Okay.
As uh, as you're also a little bit of something different in this town as well, if you feel lighter.
Okay. Maybe a little music is what we needed then.
It certainly seems like it.
Is it anything you can see? Or are people really just in a good mood?
I can't see anything. Can I do my power thing of like, can I see if the aftermath here is supernatural or just normal?
Absolutely. Your
It's
mag
it's a free power, yeah. So I'll roll no dice.
the shadows in town that are longer
Mm.
than they should be, definitely supernatural.
Mm. Interesting.
Does Virgil also clock this? Or is it something that's because I'm not native?
Um, I think it's something that you all feel simultaneously. And even you, Ivy, as you're performing on stage, the way that the people are like singing along and dancing and stomping their feet, this is like not necessarily a reaction that you've earned similar reactions, but nothing this strong or this potent that feel like that feeling in your chest of like a good job well done. And the the crowd cheers, and once you're done your set, there's folks that are coming up to you and like, thank you so much for that. That was wonderful. You've got such a beautiful voice. Oh, that's so.
My pleasure.
Let me buy you a drink at the bar, and like, uh,
Of course, of course.
and like you've got a little bit of a entourage from of the townsfolk, and none of them
And
mean Ivy harm, obviously, but you can see like we see Virgil get a little tense.
I
Are
think
any
this might be the time where I would exchange looks with Virgil and Genevieve and like look at the door and then look at them again to be like are we going?
This would be a good time. And I'm gonna make eye contact with Ivy and then nod and slink out of the door to see like if it feels heavier out here than it does inside.
yeah.
Absolutely, it does.
Hmm.
There's almost like this little residual aura of like the laughter and the cheers as you sort of exit the six dice. It's like it's still you can, but you can, as you walk out a little bit further into the night, into the cold night air, you can feel that same sort of oppressive feeling, almost like you're stepping into from the warmer end of the pool into the colder end of the pool.
Mm.
Interesting.
And as you move back towards it, it's that same it returns, that warmth.
Okay.
But for now, Ivy seems to be keeping something at bay.
I'm gonna take a quick glance around the streets, and if I don't see anyone, I'm going to spend another summoning cash. Actually, hang on. Can I, while I'm outside, use a warding cash on the six dice?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay, so I'm going to use one of those warding caches of mine, and I think this one again takes the form of a tiny little lizard who
Okay.
is probably black as usual, black scaled, but with like lots of little gold flecks in it. And he just kind of like crawls out of the back of my jacket and onto my shoulder. Uh, and I lean over to him and I let him down on the ground next to the six dice, where he will probably just worm his way into the foundations.
Yep. You see him begin to scurry, and scurry up the wall. So there's a sort of exterior um, veranda that wraps around the six dice.
Mm.
And you see him sort of scurry up towards the door frame, cut to the side, and then duck up the side of the door. And then you see him. Only you would see this little. It's almost like kintsugi. This little lizard that has veins of gold, as though it's been broken and repaired. It crawls its way up to the top of the door frame, and then it almost stretches itself to create a bow like a horseshoe above a door.
That's so cool. It is so cool.
So you know now that, and it there's that little spark, and it melds into the surface, and only from the right angle can you see those little hints of gold.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like this was a perfect time because now that I think I'm gonna say this in character because it makes more sense. Virgil looking over at Genevieve and Jasper would say, with whatever's been out here that's made it feel this way, now that it's not there in the six dice, that should help keep it at bay for a while.
Hopefully. I mean, it's been like that for a while, at least a couple of years at this point.
Well,
We've got a hydrate command in chat. Drink some water, everybody.
don't forget, I haven't forgotten
Cheers.
about that lore one either.
I'll get there.
The lore. Anyway,
Deep lore.
well, should we wait for Ivy or should we go and take a look and see what we can find?
As much as I would love to wait for Ivy, it might be best for us to move while the town's fixated on
Of
it.
course, I'll do an encore. I've got something saved. And Jasper, Jasper, Jesus, wrong one.
All of us will hear.
Virgil knows. Virgil knows this. This is like a thing that Ivy does to like really get the attention at the end, especially if it's needed. And she goes up and kind of is like, she kind of boots the pianist over to the side, and she starts playing this like ragtime jig that's kind of got a piratiness to it.
Ooh.
And it like starts this like, and she does this like whole shanty, and she goes up and the skirt comes off, and she has like a whole pirate kind of outfit, kind of quick change under it. She does like this spin and like pulls it off. Like she knows how to put on a show. And then she pulls off the black part of the boots, and it's a cover, and she's got like brown pirate boots underneath, and she pulls out like a fake dagger and like does this like whole like pirate themed thing that totally gets everybody up and rowdy, and usually brings in hella lots of drinks. That then she does the trick with the bar, and only drinks water, and they give her half the money and all that. But that's a stand, so she does that to completely have everybody's attention. And Virgil, she's if you go in and catch an eye with her, that there's a signal you can give for how many songs you need. And she will keep going for however many you think you need. If you need 2 or 3, like usually she can stretch it out to like 5 on on a good solid encore.
I think with how far is the graveyard's not that far from us,
Not
is
that
it?
far. It's sort of attached. Boot Hill's sort of attached to the church. The church is at the bottom of the hill, and then the graveyard is climbing up.
Okay, yeah, no. Virgil's kind of gonna hold Ivy's glance for a second, and then just kind of 2 should be enough. And going to head on off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Genevieve and Jasper, you'd all take the sort of opportunity to slink out into the night. uh, very quickly, would I be able to get each of you to make an observe check?
Uh-oh.
Since you
course.
asked so nicely.
Oh boy. Observe. Is that study?
Study.
With study.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright.
good.
Oh,
I'm
I rolled
so-
a 10.
I'm so good at that. I got a 10.
I got an 8.
Wow. Okay.
I think I was distracted, making sure Ivy knew what was going on.
So Virgil, you sort of sneak out, you don't really notice anything. But about the same time that the two of you sneak out, Genevieve and Jasper, you notice you do notice that let's see, what's the name of that character again? I keep freaking forgetting.
Cynthia?
You do notice that Cynthia does sneak out the back
Oh.
about the same time you do.
Well, kind of try to catch Jasper's eye. Just like see if like they spotted that too.
Yeah, did she go in the same like direction as we would be going?
You see her slip out the back door. You all sort of slip out the front. You see her duck into the back sort of kitchen area and out through the back door. While you all sort of make your way out through the front while everybody's distracted.
But she's not immediately tripping over 15 things. She's doing it very dexterously.
There's like a little bit of a bump against a wall. And
Okay.
Like, ah.
It's not like she's faking her clumsiness to. No. She's a master spy or something.
No.
Imagine.
Do we want to investigate that?
Investigate what?
Cynthia just snuck out. Back door. Which is curious. You'd think she'd be, serving drinks.
Interesting.
You do notice that there's Gloria's running the bar and there is one other person.
Okay. Hey.
I mean, you two have been here longer than I. Is that suspicious?
I don't quite know. She could be tailing us. I'm sure we'll hear her if she is.
She could be going and getting some backstock from somewhere or something. Might not be relevant, but it's at least noticeable.
What are you
If
doing?
it's bothering y'all, then I mean, the graveyard ain't going anywhere.
That is true.
We'll just take a look and we'll see what's going on.
You're just gonna
Not
sort
as
of
well.
skirt around to the front, to the back of the building and see.
Yeah, just a quick look.
Yeah, just to see what's up. Stealthily.
Sure. Okay, you want to be stealthy about this?
I would assume,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Make me. This is going to be an elude test. This is with your quick, using physical speed and coordination to solve a problem.
Oh, this is the one that I'm really good at.
I got a 14.
I got a 12.
Nice.
Your boy got a 7.
Yeah, I only roll 1d6, but then I add 6 to it.
Nice.
Nice.
And I rolled a 6.
Hell
No,
yeah.
I rolled a 4. No doubles this time, but doubles don't matter on these checks.
Okay. Genevieve and Jasper. The two of you sort of slink into the shadows and make your way around the backside of the 6 dice. Virgil, you also you follow, but you're not as quiet. In fact, you sort of knock over a barrel on your way there, and you hear someone back here.
All right. You figured me out. I was just gonna help you bring in some extra liquor if you needed any help.
You see, uh, you see, that uh, you see that she's hiding something behind her back. But you see like a plume of smoke.
I mean, uh, I'm going to assume that both Jasper and Genevieve haven't been spotted yet, but I'm gonna walk like out in the open where they can see me. And like,
Cynthia's hiding something behind her back, but you can see the smoke. She's back here trying to seek a cigarette.
Oh. Do you need a light?
No, I'm good. Wait, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Cynthia bestie.
Cynthia, if I may be so bold, there is something I know about in this world more than anything, and that's what smoke looks like.
Gloria doesn't like it when I smoke, so I sneak out here when people are distracted and I smoke.
I
Takes
got
one to
you.
know one.
Well, I was just saying if you needed help with any kind of barrels or if you needed some help with that, but if you don't, then
No,
everything's
I'm
good.
good. And then she sort of flicks the cigarette out, flicks it down to the ground, crushes it under her boot.
Did she finish smoking it? Was that a nod?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
cool.
I was gonna say because she shouldn't waste it.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
finished.
Right.
She finished. It was like at the tail end of it.
Mhm.
She's smoking it really quickly, so she would not have to.
Can you
Explain it to
speed
Gloria.
smoke a cigarette?
Yes.
Yes, you
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes, you
Cigarette
can.
Nation.
can. I've never smoked, but I've seen the videos.
I've been
Not
in theater
people
for so long.
DMing me. Yes, you can. Okay, thank you.
As someone who has dated a smoker, yes, absolutely, you can get through a cigarette very quickly.
Yep.
You only got like 15-minute breaks in theater. You could go out there and you chain smoke all of them all at once.
Well, I'm pretty sure the 15-minute break was like invented in the United States so people
People
could
could
go
go
smoke
smoke.
cigarettes.
Correct.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, some, not like the entire pack in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, regardless.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she finishes off the cigarette. She crushes it under her boot. All right. She sort of like waves her hands in front of her face a little bit, to try and get like the smoke to dissipate off of her mouth and off of her clothes.
I think
You see her grab like a little bottle out of her purse and like spritz herself just a little bit out of her pocket and spritz herself a little bit. Okay, should be good to go.
Wait, you ought to shake out your collar.
Oh,
Give it a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
oh no. I'm about to do something. This because Virgil is
Also, what are you doing out here?
Same thing. Except I'm not hiding it from anybody.
Oh,
And Jasper actually sent Clive to buy him cigarettes in the last episode, so he definitely has them.
Yep.
And so he takes one out and lights it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would love at this moment to attempt a demiurge power.
sure. Go for it.
Don't unleash havoc and kill this woman, please. She's just a klutz.
She's just baby.
I lucked out and I rolled a 7,
All right.
which is Perfect. I'm going to make a fine repair, which is basically to get rid of the smell of smoke off of her clothes.
Okay.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna like go over and like, you know, at this time period, I don't think that there is like the sense in Virgil's head to ask before just
Mhm.
like dusting off her shoulders and being like, you'll be all right.
Mhm.
Okay. She sort of allows it. Like, she's
Yeah.
been interacting with you all day.
Yeah. So, and that should dissipate the scent of a cigarette and maybe make it so that her lungs don't give out as fast.
She takes a deep breath. Huh.
You'll be fine.
Did a good job. Thank you. I'm going to get back to it before Gloria knows that I'm
A
missing.
question for you, really quickly,
Yeah.
as I just step out of the shadows that I was in.
Ah!
Apologies. It's just been a
How are
wild
you? You're
night.
wearing green.
I am. Thank you for noticing. Yeah.
It looks really nice
it's-
on you. It's a good color.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly. I obviously haven't been out that much. I just haven't seen the saloon, so hopping, is that a word the youths use?
Uh,
Oh,
hopping.
I don't.
I
It's
think
just it's
maybe-
been so long, I think, since it's been kind of like this.
Probably.
Do
Yeah,
you remember the last time it was kind of like?
Since it was this excited?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably. It's probably been a couple years at least. I mean,
Hmm.
like we've had like entertainment come through town every once in a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
Like, spirits get lifted. Like they get like you know how folks are around these parts. Like they're all pretty straight faced and
Hmm.
God fearing.
That is definitely true, but couple years, I guess.
I mean, since it's been this excitable, I'd say it'd be about your wedding reception.
Oh, right, that. Oh, yeah.
Wow, what was
yep.
Genevieve's wedding reception like? And he takes a long drag.
It was
Please.
it was fun. It was
Um,
just a bit of a big to do. It
There was people up on the roof of the Six Dice.
Oh, is that what that sign is for?
Yes.
That makes sense. I always wondered.
Do not climb the Six Dice Saloon.
uh,
And I believe the matron of honor was one of them.
I don't. I forget myself being out here in the back. This is not where I need to be in this particular moment. I was
Yeah, I
up
gotta
there.
get back to work before Glory knows I'm missing.
Yeah, mhm.
You have a good night, Cynthia. Thank you for the insight. I'd love to hear more about this sometime.
I could tell you all about it. It was a pretty raucous affair.
If you want to ask about it, you can. Was there as well.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Perhaps, but it seems like you might be liable to skip over some details.
From inside,
And I would
you hear,
want all the details.
you hear, Cindy, where'd you get to? I gotta
Good
get back
day.
in.
Yeah, you gotta get back to that.
And she said, I was just getting some bottles. And you see her grab like just this random box of like bottles that was just outside the door, and starts bringing it in. Like a couple of them clank and crash. She rushes back inside.
All right. Well, we've waited long enough.
Yeah, it was
we still
that.
got it covered.
Yep, I think we're good to head
You
over
might
there and
just
talk
wanna duck
about
in, go
other
2 more.
different.
I mean, yeah, we could. I 100% is ducking for another 2, and it just be like, yeah, we got stuck.
Uh, yeah,
All
I
right.
think after that we should move a little more quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The group of you tuck up, and you can see going moving towards Boot Hill. You can see the church first. The church is fairly striking in terms of the town. The steeple obviously sticks out like a point. It's a pretty square sort of building, one room, and it does have a slanted roof, and it does have the steeple that leads up to the top. And sitting behind it is a set of wrought iron gates towards a fenced off area that's sort of elevated off the ground, like a bit of a mound. Okay. That's where Boot Hill is. Virgil.
Hmm.
It's at this point that you get a little bit closer to Boot Hill, and you should sense the creature that you summoned earlier. You do sense it at first, and then suddenly it's gone.
As soon as Virgil feels that, he is going to move uh, a little further in to find out what's going on. Is the gate locked?
Uh, no, it's not. It's just it's not really a gate. It's more like an archway.
Okay, yeah,
And
no.
in wrought iron above it, it says Boot Hill.
Um, he feels that, and there is a noticeable change in his demeanor as he looks back at them, at Genevieve and Jasper, and goes, "Something's happened," and just straight up strolls in there.
I guess we're going in.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, so the group of you make your way sort of up the hill towards. You remember, like, you could sort of at all times sense these little creatures that you summoned. And you get to the point where you climb the hill, and you get to the point where the residual energy of this creature, your eyes sort of focus in on the little streak of fiery ember light that almost follows this creature like a trail, as it is something that is connected to you. You can see it through your eyes. You can see the sort of red light. None of the rest of you see this, but Virgil, you reach the top of the hill, and you reach the point at which it disappears, and it's at a gravestone.
Okay, I'm gonna go right over to the edge of that gravestone.
And
Trying to figure out what happened.
um it looks as though the darkness has swallowed it up. Do any of you have a source of light with you? It is pretty dark outside right now.
I just lit a cigarette with something.
Okay.
Probably a match, so
I could say for the sake of this that one of you at least has grabbed something to sort of light your way here. And as that little point of illumination goes over this gravestone, you do see that it is the gravestone of... what is his name? Hey, quick question. I don't have it in my notes here. What is the name of the leader of the Cast Iron Gang?
That would be Sly Decker.
It is Sly Decker, shot dead by the sheriff. There's a gravestone, and it says Sly Decker.
Huh.
And on the stone, there is a door engraved. And that's where we're gonna go to break.
enough with the doors that aren't supposed to be there. Enough with the doors.
Sacred enemies, those
But
doors.
this is engraved in the stone of the. It's not
Yeah, for
a
now.
full-size
Okay,
door.
I don't. Yeah.
Anyways, that's where we're going to go to break, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping in. But we're going to take a quick 10 minutes to refresh ourselves, refresh our drinks. Y'all should do the same, and we will see you then. we're back. Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the second half of tonight's episode of The Growing of the Dim. So our troop has made their way, or some of them at least have made their way to Boot Hill, to the grave of Clive Decker, or Sly
Sly.
Decker. Sly Decker. Why am I thinking Clive? There's another character named Clive. Yeah, that's something else. So they've made their way to the grave of Sly Decker, and that seems to be the point at which your little friend has disappeared to, and engraved into this tombstone. It's actually it's weirdly nice. Normally the graves around here are like, especially if they're, people that met a bad end, they're usually made of wood.
Interesting.
This one is actually nicely made of stone and Sly Decker, and engraved into the stone at the bottom is a door.
Okay. Can
Very similar in
I mean,
shape to the one that you saw in the mine.
I'm just about to study this in case anybody else wants to do something.
I was just gonna ask, like, is this like where, like, is this normally where like the other outlaws are buried, like up here on the top of the hill, or is this like where,
It's not.
like,
He's not buried at the top of the hill, but he is
Okay.
buried about halfway up.
mm-hmm. Okay. That's
Um,
all.
but yeah, and there is a mound of stones over top of the actual grave itself, and then the tombstone.
Okay. I would definitely like to try and study this or something. Try and figure out it. Like, I think the question I want to find out is this engraving newer than the rest of the gravestone?
Sure thing. Make me a study check. Roll with study. This is an observe test.
Uh, that's a 13.
Okay, with a
Ooh.
13, you can ask 3 questions and carry +1 forward on the results. The first question that you wanted to ask is the engraving on the stone about the same age as the actual names?
Yeah. Before I continue, I want to know if I can bargain here.
Oh.
Ooh.
So you had, what was it? What was your you had a 13?
Yes.
So in order to bargain for a grand result, you would need to hit 16. So that means you would need to spend
Some cashes.
some
Okay.
cashes in order to get that to fly. You'd need to spend at
Okay.
least 3
All right.
cashes.
All right. I hadn't thought all of that through. In my head, I was thinking, I wonder what information my little friend got before he got ganked.
Well, you can still ask your 3 questions, but it just means you get +1 on the result. If you were to bargain for a grand, you would still only get 3 questions, but you'd get +2 forward.
Okay, yeah.
That's the only difference.
All right. In that case, I think looking at this gravestone, is the carving here newer than the rest of the gravestone?
It looks like it's about the same age.
Okay. Looks about the same age.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are there any other?
It shows about the same. I would say it shows about the same level of weathering as the stone.
Okay. Let's see. Are there any other? What secret can you tell me about this place?
The gravestone shows the same amount of weathering for all the engravings that are on it. The door wasn't added before, but the stone looks a little bit newer. Not like it would be about 3 years old. The weathering looks fairly recent. Like maybe it was, you see that around it the dirt has been a little bit disturbed, dug up just a little bit so that the stone could be placed in the earth. Someone placed this here fairly recently. Maybe about a month or so ago?
Does that line up with the... Hang on. Let me not ask that question as part of my 3. I was about to monkey paw myself. Uh,
And as for secrets, the shadows in this area, you know that coldness you felt the further you got away from the 6 dice?
mm-hmm.
It is freezing here.
I see.
And in this area, once night falls, it does get cold. But y'all can see your breath.
Okay. So, in that case, I know about the stone. I know that it's been recently placed here. Is that the only clue I can find here?
Is that the only clue you can find here? Is that the question that you want to ask me? No, there's more clues to be had here, probably.
Okay.
Got him.
Okay. Well, I guess I... Is that all 3 of my questions?
That is 3 questions, yes. You asked, is the inscription newer? What secrets can be found here? And are there any other clues to be found in the graveyard?
Okay.
Yep. There are more clues to be found in the graveyard.
Imagine that wasn't your 3rd question, and then your 3rd question ended up being, did I use all of my questions?
Yeah, could you imagine?
What a world. What a world.
Yeah.
I'm not that ruthless of a GM.
Oh no, it would have been fine. So at this point, you know what? I'm on guard. There are clues to be found, and my friend is gone. I'm going to take a step back and hold out my hand again and use another summoning cache.
Okay.
And as this little iguana, bright, glowing red, like a torch.
Okay. It sort of hisses and comes to life, and you can see that sort of wave of heat emanating from it. Not just heat, almost like steam, like there's condensation in the air that is hitting the surface of this and fizzling off. That cold you feel is physical as well. Or at least it's manifesting itself physically on your summoned creature.
I'm going to look over at Genevieve and Jasper. Well, there's more to be found here. Something tells me that this gravestone isn't the only thing that's been altered.
And what in particular do you mean by that?
Look at the sides of it. It looks like it's been placed here. In fact, I'm not even sure if this grave is full.
Would I remember Sly Decker's burial? I probably wouldn't have gone to it.
No, and I think it might have been about the time you left town.
Yeah, I was out of town. Yeah, I think so.
You might have left town just after the cast iron gang was taken care of. You would have missed it.
Yeah.
You
That.
were around for your husband's burial, but
Mhm.
that was probably. When was the last time you were in Boot Hill? That's a good question.
Last time I was in Boot Hill probably would have been for my husband's burial.
You haven't been back since.
No. Okay.
If you think the grave is empty, there's only really one way to find out.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying we do it. I think the signs point to him being out and about at this point as well. But to know for sure, there's really only one thing to do.
We figure out what happened.
All right, I suppose there's two things to do.
Are you suggesting that we just dig it up?
I'm not suggesting we dig it up. I am implying that the only logical way to see if it's empty is to look inside. But I'm not saying we should do it. I'm saying it would give us an answer if we did.
Well, I think if we did that,
You might need more.
I'd
than
want
two
to make sure.
songs.
Yeah, we might need more than just the 2 songs. We are running out of time at the moment, but seeing this here gives me an idea. Would anybody else take a look around and see while I investigate this ground here?
Of course.
Are y'all just doing like a sort of splitting off to do a little bit of an investigation?
Do like an I'll go left, you go right
Sure, yeah.
kind of vibe. Okay.
Make me some observe tests.
Sure. Of course.
I may be observing moderately with a 9.
I might be observing with an 8.
If one of you would like to bargain with a cash or 2, you can do that to get a better result.
If there's anything sentient that might be hiding itself, I would love to use a presence cache to try to like intimidate it out.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't
Research
think
one.
mine are applicable.
I have a research one that, I've been in the town for a while. I probably know the majority of the people who
I
are
would
dead
say,
here.
You know what? Because of your knowledge of the town, I'm
Mhm.
going to give you +2 forward on this roll.
Oh, okay.
So that would make you a 10.
Okay.
And what a 10 tells you
Okay.
is Sly Decker isn't the only gravestone that has the door engraved on it.
Is it all of the cast iron gang?
Worse.
No. Worse. Is it Chance Hutchins?
Is it your husband's?
Is it my father?
Emmett Roy. Door. Newer
Mhm.
than the gravestone. Johann McFadden. Newer than the gravestone. Violet McFadden. Newer than the gravestone. Chance Hutchins. Sheriff. Door. Newer than the gravestone.
I'm alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Cool. I'll have my breakdown in silence then.
Jasper,
Oh. Hi.
you begin to look through these graves to try and find something, anything. When off in the distance you hear a faint whinny.
I was planning to do this later, but he doesn't really know who he's talking to. He just kind of goes, shit, and goes.
You're gonna run after it?
I'm gonna go. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
I literally moved states to do this.
Absolutely.
I made
you
a whole
did.
new life to hunt this horse.
Anybody that's paying attention sees Jasper run off into the dark.
It's like not like a graceful run either. He like he is just focused on moving.
And
Okay.
you're running in the dark in a graveyard.
Yes, I am.
Hell yeah.
And
You know, like an idiot.
yep.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna ask you very quickly, please, to make me an elude test.
Which one is that?
That's your good one. That's with quick.
Let's go. I'm gonna roll the good die too. You know what? All right, it's still an 8. Yeah, it's still an 8.
Okay.
Um,
With an 8.
and I
Oh, go ahead.
is this something that I can bargain?
If you have appropriate caches, you can bargain up to a 10 to get a fair result.
I have a fence, and I don't know if that would help me. I don't think presence would help me, but I have 3 offense caches. Otherwise,
I think evasive caches would probably be what helps you here.
I don't have that, so I guess it's an 8.
Okay. You fall face first into a freshly dug grave. There's no casket, no occupant inside currently. And you sort of lift yourself up, and you notice that you're at the graves. There is a freshly hewn cross that says Chance Hutchins, or not Chance Hutchins. It says
Cliff Stansley.
Cliff Stansley.
I thought for a second you were gonna say my name, and I was gonna start
Oh no,
screaming.
I wasn't.
So I'm really glad
I wasn't
that it
that
has
bad.
his name on it.
It says Cliff Stansley.
Well, I mean, that's pretty standard, right? Because like we brought him in, we had him examined, and now he's gonna be properly buried. So, other than being kind of hurt,
I mean, there's a shovel, too. But what do you do? I'm leaving this up to you now.
Wait, what do you mean by?
What
do you mean by there's a
Y'all were
shovel?
talking about digging up a certain grave.
Oh, wait, so wait, the body got put in there?
The
or
body's
did it
not
get-
in there. There's no occupant currently. It's an empty
It's not
grave.
in there yet?
It's not in there yet, but there is a shovel that is stuck into the mound of dirt beside it.
Yeah, I'll see what's up. I'll do a little bit of snooping with the shovel.
Okay. As that goes down, I don't know if Virgil's, I think he's probably aware that he heard something fall. And we'll run over there to see what's going on.
You find Jasper in a grave.
Well,
Still
Howdy.
alive.
uh, Virgil reaches down a hand. A little early for you.
I, most people who know me wouldn't be saying that, but I didn't
Yeah.
do this. It looks like they prepared it for Cliff. I thought it might be worth having a look around. You can tell that he's still distracted because he's like looking for the horse still, and so they like look like over their shoulder like a few times as they are talking, kind of like squinting into the distance.
It's wait, what? This is for the man we just brought back dead today?
Yeah, I mean,
How did he dig it out so fast?
I I don't think we've had anyone else die. They'd have had all day.
Something about that doesn't feel right.
You do remember hearing people talk about how there was going to be a burial up at Boo Hill. One of the members of the Cast Iron Gang got brought into town. If they knew about it at that point, then probably they were already digging the grave. Best not to let things.
Apparently, with like someone who digs graves like for a living can do it in 4 to 5 hours. If there's more than one person helping, it's even more expedited. I googled this, so
Oh,
I
okay.
just
All right.
It is very fresh.
Virgil would not know that. All right.
that was for us.
The more you know.
Da da da
Right.
da.
You learned something today, chat.
Like animate like a rainbow.
Okay. Well, I think we should head back.
I gotta do you have the crystal or does Genevieve have the crystal?
I believe Genevieve still has it,
All right.
but honestly, I think it's time to head back. It would be, well, to put it bluntly, we will be missed.
He kind of does like he doesn't like that it's true today, but it's true today.
What made you run off like that?
I saw a fucking horse. The horse is out.
A horse.
The nightmare.
Maybe we'll go hunting tomorrow then, if you know where he's at.
No, I'm going hunting tonight, but I'll take the rest of y'all home first.
Okay. Well, you know what? How about this? And I'm going to look down at my little glowing friend and wave over him for just a little bit to like get the fires to slowly like extinguish and
It
whisper
dims like cooling magma. You can see
Yeah,
the
I
cracks
whisper to
begin
him.
to seal.
to go ahead and slink off to go retrieve Ivy. Like the party should be well and done by now, and if we've got a fresh trail on something, then we might as well investigate it because we don't know exactly what we're looking for. If the horse was in the mine, I don't know.
Are those little fellas hot if you touch them like fire, or is it just
Do you want to touch him?
kinda? When he comes back, I guess.
All right, well, when he comes back.
Do you call him anything? Because I always make sure people name the horses. Sometimes people come through town and they're just like, "This is my horse," and I'm like, "Well, what do I call your horse?" And they're like, "I don't know, it's my horse." And I think that's kind of pathetic. You spend all this time with a horse, you ain't even give it a name. It's fucked up, if you ask me.
Well, I mean that's a good question. Honestly, hadn't really thought about translating the names, but I suppose the closest approximation uh to a name would probably be hmm, is that letter is silent in this. It's Tero.
Taro?
Tero, yeah. Phero.
That was not the spelling I was thinking of, but go figure. Good name as any.
I think at that point,
You both also
uh
realize Genevieve's not really anywhere to be seen right now.
hell shit.
Genevieve, what are you up to?
Jen.
I think I accidentally activated a power.
Oh no!
And I rolled a 7. So I'm gonna invoke my attractor upon myself.
Okay.
Because the thing with being a magnet is I can't really control, sometimes the energy that leaves me. So I think I've activated my attractor with that, and I get to ask one question of you.
For sure.
And I think I'm just gonna ask, what isn't here that should be here? There's all these things that are here that I don't want them to be here, but what's not here?
I'm glad you asked.
What's here? What's not here? I'm imagining that she got to her mom's grave, and that's where the collapse happened.
Sounds good. You stand sort of over your mom's grave. You see out of your periphery shadows standing over each of the graves, sort of growing up out of the ground, formless at first and then coalescing into the shape of a humanoid. And you see them sort of standing behind each tombstone in turn, and you turn around and you scan your eyes over the perimeter of this graveyard. You see each shadow standing over each grave. Emmett's grave, there's no shadow. You kind of expect that because he's standing right over your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see the sort of residual of where he would be if he stood over his own grave. There is no shadow over Slydecker's grave. And there never was. You don't need that shovel. Slydecker's not buried here, and somehow you know that in the core of your being. You feel a hand on your shoulder.
Just tense.
Miss McFadden?
Yeah, yes. Was there something the matter?
You turn.
I could turn.
You see
Yeah.
a tall man in a priest's habit. The broad black hat.
Oh, Father.
A bit late for you to be out visiting the graves of the damned.
Well, a bit late for you to be out walking amongst them too, yourself.
I like to tend to my flock from time to time.
As I'd like to tend to mine.
Well, might I escort you back out again? It's not very good to be wandering around this late after dark.
Oh, what's the worst that'll happen to me?
I'm not sure, Miss McFadden.
I would like a few more moments with my mother, if I may.
He sort of stops and nods. Very well. He steps back into the shadows. Just a little bit, but
Into
still
the
keeps an eye on you. You can see him.
Okay.
Just on the edge of your
Okay.
periphery.
I guess I'll turn back to my mother's grave and kind of like
Would you mind
brush.
would you mind if I prayed with you a little bit?
No. I wouldn't mind at all.
He sort of
br-
bows his head.
I brush some of like the dirt and stuff off
He
her
doesn't say any
grave.
words, but he bows his head
Yeah.
with you.
Okay. And I'll kind of like, I guess, crouch / kneel near my mother's grave and kind of just like trace my fingers over the engraving and then pause. And then I'm going to touch the door engraving and to see if anything happens.
You see the shadows in the graveyard begin to sort of turn and move as though they're walking towards something.
Which direction?
Down the hill and out the gate.
Pull my hand away.
They stop. And turn and return to their spots.
Amen. All right. I think that's enough graveyard time for me. Sorry, I'm getting,
Happens
you
to the
know
best
how-
of us. He helps you sort of up.
Mhm.
Offers his hand.
Thank you.
His hand is very cold.
Can I'm gonna activate my any result, roll no dice, see if something supernatural, see if the aftermath or havoc here is mundane or supernatural with this.
Yes, it very much is. Something is very off about Father Mouton.
Father Mouton, it's thank you again. And I know we haven't spent that much time together.
Well, don't be afraid to don't be a stranger. Just
Um,
maybe keep better hours next time, I suppose.
No, the
But I
heart fancies
suppose-
a visit.
Well, I suppose when the spirit moves.
When the spirit moves, yeah. I will, I suppose, take my leave now, if that is all right.
Of course.
Lovely. It, of course, is always lovely to see you.
And you? He walks
day.
with you out the gate.
Okay. Yep. I led that way, I suppose.
I'm pretty sure that how are me and Jasper gonna figure this out?
You see Father Mouton sort of follows you out, and then you see him go back to there's a small, that square building that is the church. There is a small sort of back area that is his room, that is his domicile. You see him go inside. He sort of holds a lantern, and you could see, as he walks towards it, you see a very long shadow, brimmed by this hat.
I just kind of like awkwardly wait for him to like go inside, kind of like, adjusting like my dress and stuff, kind of like brushing the dirt off of it until he's inside before I turn back around and go back in. And then try to find my
Yeah.
friends.
I would definitely be trying to find you. So if we came to
Yeah.
the exit, then yeah, that would be fine.
You'd all meet you all sort of meet, reconverge.
How are y'all?
What the hell happened to you?
A lot of things all at once. Shall we go somewhere not here, preferably? What's the
Sure.
plan? Do we have a plan?
Let's
You can
There's
hear that
doors
there's
on-
still
on-
music happening at the Six Dice.
go back to
We
the
we
Six
can wander
Dice.
that way, and I can elaborate more so as soon as we're further away from. I kind of like look towards Father Mouton's house, further away from him.
He's one of those, is he?
He's not. I would say he's more like us than like the town.
Us.
In a very, no offense, weird in some variety. His hand was icy cold, and not just because of the chill in the air. Also, my husband's grave, my mother, my father's grave, and Chance Hutchins' graves all have doors on them as well.
All right. Well, you
Okay.
came loaded with information, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought
And- And there's a lot of specters and shadows hanging around this graveyard. One for every grave, except for obviously, I point to where Emmett is, and except for someone who's never been buried here. We don't
Which
need to do
is?
any. We don't need to do any digging tonight.
I knew they didn't bury that motherfucker.
Oh, good. Amazing. All
Hmm.
right. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch my my own death out here if I'm out in this cold for much longer.
Yeah, let's get inside and let's go relieve Ivy of her fan club.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're
You
booking
return.
it back towards Six Dice.
And you can hear
Hopefully
that
Ivy is
just as you
finishing.
come in the door, Ivy finishes the last song. I think she did one extra just in case.
She
Yeah,
did.
pushed it to 5.
When she didn't see you guys. She's like, and that really must be my last for the evening. I'm clearly spent. Thank you all so much for your rapt attention. It's like I've never had such an audience. Thank you so very much. Oh no, please, please, please keep, give it to the orphans. It's all right. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. And she's just kind of schmoozing with people, and just waiting to kind of see. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I must excuse me. And she's gonna kind of make her way over towards the door.
Ivy, can you make me just a retroactive observed chest?
Yes.
Okay. Study. Okay. 9
Okay.
for observe. So I think Ivy is I think she will burn a fancy to push that up to a 10. She's able to kind of dance her way through things and keep
an eye on the
keep
crowd.
people kind of out of her face by making them get her drinks and things, and by schmoozing more.
You do notice that at
so
one
that she
portion
can
of the
keep an eye.
evening that dang it, Cynthia does duck out again, doesn't return. And you see that she sort of wishes Gloria good night and leaves. But
Okay.
she leaves before your set's done.
All right. Keep that in back of the brain.
And you see your friends return just as you finish your
Okay.
last set.
Get over to them. Oh, Virgil, how were you getting some air? How are you? Whew.
We are
Going to the bar and getting a huge fucking drink.
Excellent. Well,
We found a few things
There's a
out.
lot going on outside.
Not surprised. Well, everyone was here the whole evening. Everybody had a lovely time, and I think the spirits of the town at least were lifted for one night. Oh boy, I'm beat. I could use a drink. I could also use a little fresh air. Yeah. You'll all excuse me, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna go take a walk in the cool air.
Well,
See
have a
if I
good night,
can't-
Miss Ivy. Thank you so much
Good
again.
night, everybody. I'll be back through in a while. And she kind of makes a big flourish and heads out, grabbing a bottle of whiskey off
Gloria
the
just
table
hands
as she
it to
walks
you.
by.
Yeah, 100%. We're gonna stand outside for a second, especially someplace where we can be secluded and
I
talk
mean-
about.
There's a whole house if you wanted.
Oh.
We do have a home and a porch, or just the home in itself, if we're wanting secure privacy.
I
Well,
think
then
we
let's do
should
that.
stay inside tonight.
Yes.
Ivy just kind of leads straight over towards the front door of their home.
Okay. Yeah. I lead, I guess, everyone into my home, kind of shakingly.
As you walk,
We'll have our
past-
own little after party. Ivy kind of makes like so that it doesn't seem like any old thing.
As you all walk up the stairs towards the door, all of you hear this very loud sound of galloping hooves. Your attention turns as you hear this sort of echoing shriek of a whinny. And towards the edge of town, you see a solid black steed with red eyes.
Let's go.
It stands back, it rears, and then it takes off towards the hills.
I guess no after party, at least here.
Please, by all means, y'all all have fun. And
Mm-mm.
I
Yeah,
gotta
You're
go.
not.
And that's where
No,
we're going to
I
end
gotta go.
tonight's session.
We're going with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session, everybody.
Oh my lord.
Thanks again so much for stopping by for this episode. It's. I think we're just going to call this one Saturday shows, and next week's going to be Sunday sermons.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Oh.
All right. Thank y'all so much. We're going to go through and we're going to do our outros. We're going to say who we are, where we can be found, and then we are also going to do like a little brief character epilogue. And we're going to start in reverse order with Max.
Hi, I'm Max. You can find me anywhere that I want you to find me on the internet at Arcane Goth. You can find me on Mondays with Take Your Role, where I run a duel system, vampires versus vampire hunters thing. Here on Fridays until it is over. Another thing that I don't think I'm supposed to talk about yet. Something Anime Boston. I've kind of had it with myself right now. So honestly, like, go follow them.
No.
Follow Max. Max is
Follow
incredible.
Max.
Max is Bay.
Yeah.
Max does a bunch of cool things.
I'm done right
What
now,
is
though.
what's Jasper doing in the little?
Oh yeah,
epilogue?
Jasper.
Running after that horse.
Yeah, Jasper is running after that fucking horse.
You take off towards the edge of town, and you do see, sort of ducking out of the stables, you see Clive. And you see that he's like, I heard it too, and he grabs one of the horses.
Oh, please tell me he gets like my actual horse.
He
this
gets
time.
your horse, and
Finally.
he leads it out and grabs it. He takes like a running thing, and like you saddle up on this horse. He gives it a smack, and you take off towards the nightmare. And he has a couple extra, seeing that the rest of you were sort of congregating outdoors. Ivy, who are you?
Well,
Where can you be found, and what is Ivy doing?
well, I'm Brandy. You can find me as Kind Ranger on the Twitterverse. That's about it for me right now. Ivy is smartly. She is wearing some smart pantaloons and some good boots. She had a feeling that this night would be some action, and so that was part of why she dressed as that. And so she is right on Jasper's tail. There is no way on this earth that anyone is going to be in the middle of things without her being in the middle of it just in case to deflect. So I think that actually as she is running, she is going to activate her power to put mindfulness on Jasper, knowing that Jasper's going to be the one to fool up in that. But she is, and she kind of looks back at Virgil, and they, I'm sure, share that look as she continues to just chase.
All right. Next up, Genevieve or Becca.
Hello, I'm Becca. You can find me anywhere that I'm worth finding as Cool Armadillo, either with a zero as the final O or not. Really depends on a case-by-case basis. As for where you can find me on Mondays, you can find me over at Talking XP for Ravenloft Misfits. That's taking a break. On Saturdays, you can find me over at twitch.tv/Gamerazilla Kong for Shadows of Sharn, where I play Galen Morales, who I just feel like I have to do his voice each time because, that's how it is at this point. Thank you. I try my ding dangdest. And as for Genevieve, who's had a bad night anyway, but it's like it knows that this damn horse is important to Jasper, is gonna book it, yes, after everyone else, and is going to attempt at least to catch up with Jasper and jump on the back of his horse as well.
Heck yeah. And last but not least, Chris.
Well, hi. My name is Chris. I go by OmnisX on the internet. That's OMNISX with an underscore on Twitter between the S and the X because legality reasons, I guess. Who knows? You can find me on Twitch currently Saturdays. I stream random stuff, variety streaming. Eventually I'll have a more solid schedule when I have a more solid work schedule because my hours are kind of shifting. I may have weekends off. That might be super dope. But that's it for me. You can follow me all over the place there with that username. And as for Virgil, I think Virgil is going to run, but there's a part of me that thinks that he's going to skip the horse.
Yes.
As soon as he's out of sight of town, he will be moving a little bit more speedily. He's going to make sure to take off his shoes first, though.
Incredible. The clock shifts backwards just a little bit to the Six Dice Saloon. And you see towards the end of the evening, Cynthia takes off her apron as Ivy is in the middle of a raucous performance, sort of tucks into Gloria, says, "All right, I'm taking off for the night." Gloria says, "Okay." "It's tonight?" She nods. "It's tonight." She steps out the back door, a little bit clumsily at first, sort of trips over the steps. Takes a deep breath, steadies herself, and takes one step, and then another step, a little bit more sure each time. Lifts up the skirt as she walks, so that she's not tripping over it anymore. You see the feet, the stomping, clomping, booted feet are hooves. She takes a deep breath, looks pained for a second, and then begins to sprint towards the hills. Turning into a horse as she runs. Hello, everybody. I'm Anita. You can find me
Horses
everywhere
don't
at
smoke.
Panita or at Critical Misses. I'm a TTRPG streamer, graphic designer, producer, and cat mom about the space. I have graphic design commissions for overlays like this one open, so help me out. I'm poor. You can find me here Fridays for this show, Saturdays for Morning Ritual, and our guest tomorrow is Connie from Transplaner. And you can also find me on Sundays over on Pluto Cleric's channel, and then Thursdays over at Cyberpunk Uncensored for a Star Trek Adventures game called Flight Beyond the Veil. Thank you all so much for stopping by and hanging out with us. We're going to go on a quick raid to go see our good friends over at Neon Lights Roleplay. They're doing some Dungeons and Dragons. We'll say hi to them over there, but thank you again so much for stopping by, and until next time, let's take to the hills. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.